We will now take a look at the 3D warehouse, which allows us to import and use models that have already been created by other SketchUp users and incorporate into our drawings. The 3D warehouse is basically a searchable Google model where when open up it gives you a list of numerous types of models and categories made by other users. If I maximize the window, you can scroll down to see various types of models, and you can search just about anything. In this case, I'm going to search for a couch. You'll see there's 5,866 results come up. You could sort by relevance, which means it's going to sort and try to match your search query with the exact word located in each of the models. You can also sort by popularity, most liked, etc., etc. I'm going to select the first one, Couch by Renzo, and it's going to ask me if I'd like to download it directly to my model, to which I'm going to say yes. You'll notice my couch comes in, and it's kind of moving around in the beginning, as I have not yet locked a position. I always like to lock my components into the origin point, as I find it's easier to move around. So let's keep our mannequin, but move him off the origin point, and I'm going to grab this back corner and just drop him down and drop it down so that I'm anchored to the origin point. This does a couple things for me. It lets me know that my couch is directly on the main plane, and I have a reference of when the drawing is brought in that it's going to be in the middle every time. So I'm going to move Frank over just a little bit, and now if I look at the model, it's a model just like one that we would build. If you collect it once, you can see that the entire thing is grouped together, which I'll explode, and it is made up now of various different components. You can see the couch is not grouped, which probably could be grouped. They didn't do it in this sense. The table is not grouped, which probably should be done. The cookies are a component, as well as the milk and cookies as one group. Flowers are grouped, and you'll notice that the couch cushions are also groups or components. The nice thing about these models from the warehouse, they are fully customizable. I'm going to go in and I'm going to change the color of these specific couch cushions to any one in my repertoire. A nice red color is terrible. And you can see that they'll all change. These components look like they have a floral pattern to them, but they too can be changed if I so desire. The couch itself also looks like it has some type of material applied to it. The whole couch could be changed to more of a black leather look. Change that back. And the coffee table, etc., etc. Now once these pieces are finished and they're all changed how you want, they should always be put back together as a group so that they move individually. Now all components that are brought in are not necessarily the same. If you open up your layers window, you'll notice right now we only have one layer. Sometimes components can come in with multiple layers, which can confuse your drawing. We'll deal with that later on, but just beware that when the layers window is open, you may see additional layers as each file is brought in. I'm going to go back to the warehouse. I'm going to search for a model of a coffee table. Looking through, you have many different coffee tables that come up. I'm going to select this modern coffee table, as it seems pretty cool. I'll load it directly into my model. And as it's floating around, I'm going to drop it for 1 second. I'm going to grab the edge and just kind of move it over. Sometimes it's difficult to align these things to the ground plane. So what I tend to do is I tend to get myself a tape measure. And if I just double click a line here, it may be difficult to see. Let's actually do it on the back line here. It's going to give me a guideline horizontally. Oop, moved it. It can give me a guideline horizontally, which will just let me see where the base is. So I may do something like that, just pull it out a little bit. And now I have a reference point. So let's go ahead and move this massive coffee table over. I'll snap it to my new line. And it's fairly safe to say that we know this table is too big. So if we wanted to put it into our model, we would have to change it. Well, we can change it just like any other component we have. If we're looking at our size and scale, we'll see Frank is approximately the same size and scale for these components right here. If we shrink this down, we can either shrink it proportionally, or we can get it close to the size we want, and then use our handles in the middle and infer to another height, say of this coffee table, which is pretty tall. Maybe we want to make it a little bit lower, and the width as well. We'll take a moment and we'll rotate this coffee table. And we'll attempt to fit it in the space that we see here. So we're going to have to move this, get this out of the way. We'll keep the cookies for now. And we'll place this coffee table into the space. And let's play with it a little bit more to get the size and scale down here. Make it look like it belongs within this little area. And we'll put our milk and cookies back on, of course. And our little flower pot. You've now changed the components that were pre-made and customized them slightly for your model. Now take a moment to save this file as coffee couch, and put it into your drive. Now, let's open up a new file for our next assignment of editing and creating a component for our house. Again, we're going to keep Frank off to the side. And the goal of this project is to import a component or series of components and edit and change them in such a way that they are useful for your model and what look you're trying to get accomplished. I'm going to search for a desk. And I'm going to come down and select this corner desk with triple monitors. I'm going to load it directly into my model. And what I want to do with this is to completely customize it, adding additional components to it to make it unique. So the first thing I look at is a little bit dark. I want to change the color. I want to add some additional components so that this particular model is personal to me, as then I will use it in my drawing. After taking a couple of minutes to customize the desk that I downloaded, I changed and added multiple parts to it. I changed the initial color of the desk itself from a black to a wood color. I deleted some of the speakers that were there and brought in larger speakers. I created different computers. I added, for DJing purposes, a mixer on each of the screens. I imported images to represent images that I would see as I was DJing, and made sure that the overall size and scale of everything completed was correct. I also made sure that everything was on the same plane. Again, in order to line things up, a trick you may want to use is to use your guidelines along the bottom. This will give you a reference point to snap each one of your various components that you're going to bring into the drawing and make it a little bit easier to make sure everything is on the same plane. Again, you want to pick a component that you can put into your house and that you can customize. Picking something like a couch or something too simple will not give you as much opportunity to kind of customize. You'd rather pick a desk or a table or something where you can not only bring in the initial component, but again, other components that can be added into the model. These speakers and these lava lamps are not included in the general model. When you are done and you've completed the desk and customizing it, you want to make sure you bring in a copy of the other desk, the original desk. And we want to get rid of all of our guidelines and go to a good angle so that I could see exactly what it is you guys did to the desk. Here's a top view. All right, or if you figure that a side view is better, such as here. Okay, this view will look good here. We're going to file, and we're going to export a two-dimensional graphic here into the Dropbox. A two-dimensional graphic will send you into the King files, into corresponding time block.